Hey everybody, and Tony here with a review of Verdi's Un Ballo in Maschera with Ido Arad on the podium, which I saw at the Deutsche Oper Berlin. And this was also the same production I saw 2 months ago with an entirely different cast. So let's cut to the chase with tonight's singers, starting off with Yosep Kang as King Gustavo III. And as always, Mr. Kang has a very fine lyric tenor voice, which is so rich in musicianship and charm, and he has an equally charming stage presence backed up with a lot of charisma, vibrance, and great amounts of nobility that he manipulated very well with this character. I have followed his career for quite some time, and he continues to get a lot better as the years roll by. Yes, it seems as though that he has been attempting slightly heavier roles like Arnold from Guillaume Tell and his more recent engagement with Rôle de Nangy from Merber's Les Huguenots, also at the Deutsche Oper Berlin. But he still maintains his fine sense of musicianship, which he has been very well known for. And yes, the role of Gustavo has been specialized by a lot of tenors with slightly meatier voices like Jussi Björling and José Carreras, but I still have to give Mr. Kang loads of credit in terms of everything that he pulled off. He was very dashing in this role, and he had a great amount of musicianship, which really backed him up wonderfully. Singing the role of Conte Renato was a baritone who was a very new name for me. His name was Roman Burdenko, and he sang the absolute hell out of this role. He was absolutely fabulous. He embodied this character with nobility and strength, and he had a very fine, dramatic baritone voice. I also read a little bit of his biography, and it seems as though that he has specialized in a lot of the roles of the Italian dramatic baritone repertoire. He really made a very strong impression as Conte Renato tonight. Like I stated before, he has a very strong stage presence, and his voice was rich and full throughout all the registers, and he sang wonderfully. Tamara Wilson was an excellent Amelia. She had it all. She had a very fine and gorgeous timbre, and she had steely high notes to back her up. I've heard about Tamara Wilson for quite some time, and I've mostly heard a lot of great things about her. And those wonderful things said about this grand spinto soprano are all legitimate in terms of tonight's performance of Amelia. She was so moving in this role. She had a very focused and gorgeous spinto soprano voice, and she was a very fine singing actress. This is a singer I would really love to see in a lot more productions, because what I could see through Madame Wilson is that she has a very great future ahead of her. She has a very brilliant and great voice that she has used wonderfully in terms of her interpretation of Amelia, and I cannot wait to see a lot more productions starring her. Ronita Miller was a superb Ulrika. As always, Ronita Miller continues to use her grand contralto voice to the best of her abilities, and this is her finest hour yet. She had a very strong stage presence. She had an equally strong and sturdy contralto voice, which she has been very well known for, and she really knew how to be absolutely focused in this role. She inhabited this role with such strength and beauty, and she was absolutely gorgeous as Ulrika, both vocally and theatrically. Heidi Stober was a spirited Oscar, and as to be expected from someone like Heidi Stober, she had a very gorgeous timbre to her voice, which makes her so ideal for roles not only like this, but also roles like Pamina and Adina. And nowadays it seems as though that she is specializing in a lot more of the lyric soprano roles like Marguerite from Faust, which she'll be singing in the future, also at the Deutsche Oper Berlin, and even Leo from Turandot. And what more can I say about Madame Stober as Oscar? She has been very well known for this role, and she sings this role with fine precision and great amounts of charm that she was able to inhabit this role with such vivacity, spiritedness, and a great sense of beauty, which she was able to play off wonderfully. Then we have the two bassos singing the roles of Counts Horn and Ribbing, Florian Spies and Ben Wager, who were absolutely fabulous. They had superb basso cantante voices, which they used very well, and their voices blended wonderfully, and they had sturdy stage presences, which made their characters come to life even though their roles are quite short. Simon Pauli was a dashing Cristiano, and as always, he has a very fine lyric baritone voice, and he has a great future. He was very athletic on stage, as to be expected from someone as tall and slim and handsome like Simon Pauli. He was able to move around the stage with such agility, yet at the same time, he sang with such pure abandon, and he was absolutely focused on all the notes he was singing. Gideon Poppe was a superb judge, helped by his wonderful light lyric tenor voice and his equally dashing stage presence. He was able to make the best out of this very small role. Robert Watson was also a very fine servant, as he also used his fine lyric tenor voice to the best of his abilities. So overall, the singing was really wonderful all throughout, with everyone doing a great job contributing to the piece, and it was just a great collaborative work from beginning to end. The conducting done by Maestro Ido Arad was well done, but there were times that he lacked a little bit of crispness, especially in terms of some of the more exciting moments. But regardless, he still managed to pay attention to the text, and he's still a very solid conductor all throughout. And what more can I say about the chorus of the Deutsche Oper Berlin? They are just wonderful singers all throughout, and they really know how to be absolute pros. So overall, I was not disappointed in the slightest. Everyone did fabulously all throughout. From the singers to the conductors to the chorus. Everyone did wonderfully in their own special ways. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for my review of Giacomo Merber's Les Huguenots, also at the Deutsche Oper Berlin. So until then, good night everybody.